Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another installment of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Hey, man, thank you guys for tuning in right here every Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Greatly appreciated, y'all. Got a great show tonight. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of things went down this past weekend. Kind of missed a show there, a little under the weather. I'm back. 100% better than ever, man. We're going to get this show rolling, man. So, as y'all know, we always start this out with the word of the day. This is the first time you're tuning in. Basically, what we do is my producer, Lawrence, is going to put a word up on the screen. Every time I say that word during the show today, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. So, whether it be beer, shots, liquor drink, hey, every time I say a word, the word of the day, make sure you take a sip. Last week's word of the day, or the last show, was wreck. So I don't know how many times I said that, probably a few at least. You got a few sips in for sure. But like I said, Lauren's going to throw a word up. Today's word is going to be, have no idea, but every time I say it during today's show, take a sip. As I always like to say, this game is kid-friendly as well. Go get you a Red Bull, some sweet tea, Coca-Cola, whatever it may be, man. Get whatever it is you need. Stay late, stay up late, get cranked up on this school night, man. Give your mom and dad a little bit of hell there, man. So, moving right along, getting into that NASCAR news, man. We got a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about. A lot has went down the past couple weeks in our sport of NASCAR that we love, man. A lot of big announcements, a lot of racing has happened, a lot of things going on. So getting right into that NASCAR news, man. I want to start it off with something that should have probably been done a very long time ago, but it did get done this past weekend at Daytona. Wendell Scott, with a former NASCAR driver, first African-American and only to ever win a NASCAR Cup Series race. A little bit of drama there behind that. He wasn't declared the winner until a few days after that race went on, and never even got the trophy. But this weekend, NASCAR made it right. They invited Wendell Scott's family there, presented them with a trophy, paid homage and tribute to that man. So big shout out there for NASCAR. Absolutely love that. They actually had his car, the style car and car that he raced there, on hand to take a look at. I saw some pictures of it. Absolutely coolest thing ever, man. So big kudos to NASCAR, and I'm glad that the Scott family finally got their peace of mind to know, that little piece of NASCAR history. So big kudos to them on that. Right before I came in, getting a little caught up on some things, JTG Daughtry Racing over there, going from 2 cars down to 1 next year, man. The owner of the 37 and 47, going to trim it down from 2 down to 1. The 37 is ran unchartered all year long. 47 is the only car between those two that has a charter, so obviously it's going to be the 47 that's kept. I don't know if they announced what driver is going to be kept, but there again, that kind of adds into the end of the season, end of the year silly season that we have in the off season a little bit more. Another guy out there looking for a ride probably, so we'll see who and what happens and who stays and who goes, but some big news coming into that. He just said he wanted to be a strong 1-car team, which I don't know how you do that in today's sport, but he might. So hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully they have a good run. I will say I think it's a great thing that if you're going to do it this year coming up, 2022 is the year to do it. Brand new car, everybody's on an equal playing field. Probably make that last for a couple years, but eventually you're going to have to get 2 more cars. You're going to have to get another car, man. But we'll see what he does. Hope he does great, man. I love Brad Doherty as an owner. I think he's freaking awesome. Great announcer there this past weekend on the Daytona race as well. Does his commentary. So absolutely love it, man. We got a regular season champion, y'all. We got somebody that locked down the regular season championship, and as if it's any doubt, it's Kyle the Martian Larson, Young Money, a.k.a. 2 Mile Kyle, that's just pretty much dominated it since we got into about the month of March. So I tell you, it's no surprise, comes to no surprise. But they raced really hard for that, man. Him and Hamlin here this past weekend raced really hard for that regular season championship. And I tell you what, I think it meant a little bit more to Hamlin and would have helped him project himself a little bit higher up in the standings for this playoff, as we'll get to here in just a little bit. But Kyle Larson is the one wanting to play spoiler, man. And I tell you, first 3 races, a couple races there, a runner-up, we got a win. We got going back to Talladega. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff coming up in these playoffs, man, that are absolutely insane. But I tell you, when you look at a guy coming out of a camp, the 5 cars got it all together. So until somebody steps up and starts taking these wins and stealing these wins from them, I don't want to hear anything about it, man. We got a regular season champion, Kyle Larson. Hey, and like I said, the man is absolutely on freaking fire. No shit at all. On fire. Boom. swear bucket. As y'all know, if you watch the show, every time I say a cuss word, we're going to donate $1 to our charity of choice. And it just so happens that this year it is Help Save One of Our Own right here out of Savannah. So like I said, a little bit more later on that. But man, I tell you, just what an amazing season it's been for Kyle Larson, right? I mean, at the end of the day, this guy is absolutely dominating everything he enters, whether it's NASCAR, whether it's dirt races, whether it's stuff he's never driven before. Pretty sure I saw the man flying around the parking lot here at Coach's on a balsa wood airplane. I mean, trying to race hummingbirds or something, man. I don't know what he's got going on. But at the end of the day, I'd never bet against Kyle Larson, I promise you that. But moving along, man. Big news that we all knew was coming up, which it was kind of a funny deal. Kurt Busch going to 2311. Going to drive the 45, reintroduction of that Adam Petty number, and to me that's a huge deal. It really is. And not only that being said, but it's kind of like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon in the sport right now, because Denny Hamlin and Kyle Petty had beef forever, right? They had problems forever. They did not like each other at all. Finally got to talk a little bit about it. Hamlin did this past weekend. I think they might have got some things lined out, kind of, sort of, but at the end of the day, you end up with the man's son's number who passed away. And I tell you, the 45, to me, it's a very iconic number. The man, I think Adam Petty would have been a pretty good talent in the sport. I think Richard Petty Motorsports would have went in a different direction. Unfortunately, he passed away. Kurt Busch gets the honor of bringing that number back out. And there again, going over to 2311, man. I mean, hey, Bubba Wallace, and now you got a champion in Kurt Busch. I've said it before. I think that Ganassi or Trackhouse or whatever you want to call him made the biggest mistake when they let this man go and hired on to Ross Chastain. Not taking anything away from Chastain, but you've heard me say it a million times here. The man's not even won a race yet. The man definitely hadn't won a championship. And you got a guy in Kurt Busch that's got 30-plus wins and a championship, and you let him go? Come on, man. You're trying to build a team, you let him go? You're never going to get that again. There's nobody else that's going to be retiring anytime soon that's going to go, hey, I want to go race for Trackhouse. Let me go over here. That's a champion with 30-plus wins, man. That fell into your lap. Bad choice on Trackhouse, but at the end of the day, like I said, great move for Kurt Busch. I think another dynamic, it's not just a one-year deal either, it's a multi-year deal. So what that tells me is Jordan and Denny Hamlin are both very invested in this team, making this team successful, getting it, growing every year as we go on through the years, and I think Kurt Busch is going to do a great job. But not only that, the man gets to actually check off a checkbox on his. He's raced every manufacturer that NASCAR has ever brought in as far as since he's been racing. So Toyota's the last one to check in that box. He gets to go drive a Toyota next year. Man, just a great move, great lockdown. I think that's probably the best driver that they could have been looking for over at 2311 for sure. But the funny thing about it was when it got announced by ESPN, they put it out as Kyle Busch going to be driving the 45, which is absolutely amazing. As we all know, Kyle Busch is not going anywhere from Joe Gibbs, I would say, anytime soon. I know he just signed an extension. He at least got 2 more years over there. But I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. But it was funny, and they kind of jabbed back and forth with each other with the brothers, doing a fake little press conference Kyle Busch did. Pretty funny deal. If you hadn't seen it, check it out. Definitely Google it. Pretty entertaining. But, yeah, man, what a big move for 2311 over there, man. I tell you, I think they're going to have something next year, man. They're going to bring a little bit of heat for sure. So another thing that also kind of tied into this, being announced that Kurt Busch is going to take over that second car at 2311 is going to be that we're moving numbers forward on the doors, man, in NASCAR. And I am not happy about that, not one bit. Like, we are changing everything about this sport that I love, and the number should have stayed in the middle of the door. That's just me. That's my opinion. I get it. I understand it's the most sponsored freaking sport in the world. You got to have the sponsors. You're a 3-hour-long commercial. You got to make some room to get some more sponsors or bigger sponsorship on there. I get it. But when they dropped the picture of that 2311-45, that number was pushed forward. Don't know. I'll get used to it. I mean, I just sound like an old man that watched baseball back in 1950 and won't watch it anymore today after the strike because of what they did. Whatever. I love racing. I love NASCAR. I'll get adjusted to it. But I just really wish they would have left them right there in the center of the doors, man. Good look. But hey, the sport's evolving, man. We're coming into that new age. We gotta roll with the changes, man. And unfortunately, it's a change that I don't really like. I'd love y'all's opinion on it. If you're watching, drop a comment out here. Hey, go on our YouTube here when Lawrence gets that posted up. Drop a comment in. Like I said, absolutely love to see how y'all feel about numbers being moved forward, making more room for more sponsorship dollars in the sport. But more big news, man. I'm telling you, it's a big show, man. Ryan Blaney back-to-back wins. We didn't do a show last week, like I said, under the weather there at Michigan. The Hendrick boys sat there and played around. I think they played twiddly-winks with their damn thumbs, you know. I mean, I don't know what the hell they were doing over there, man. But, I mean, all of them had a chance to win the race, and they let Ryan Blaney get out there and then just never could get back to him to pass him. But, anyway, at the end of the day, Ryan Blaney comes home. First time in his career, one, it's multi-wins in a season, and two, first time he's ever won back-to-back races. So big kudos to Ryan Blaney. This is a guy we definitely got to be on the lookout for. We'll see if he made the who's hot, who's not, but got to be on the lookout for him, man. Having a great season. See how far he makes it in this playoff run. But as of right now, man, he's on fire, so watch out for him as well. 8 teams slated coming up here, I think next couple weeks or maybe this week. Going to start testing the next-gen car. So you've got pretty much all the big names. I mean, as we all know, RCR, Hendrick, JGR, JTG, Roush Fenway, Ganassi, Stewart Haas. I don't remember the 7th or 8th one, but pretty much everybody is getting ready to go and get to test this for NASCAR. And I'm pretty sure it's at Daytona. So they're looking at different things and different manufacturers a little bit more. They're moving that wheel up from a 15-inch rim that we race now up to an 18-inch rim, a bigger tire. NASCAR's wanting some data on that to see tire wear, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why these 8 teams are being allowed at that test there at Daytona. One driver per team each that get to go and do it. It's going to be interesting, man. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a really neat end of the year, but it's going to be an even better start to next year, man. I'm ready to see these new cars 40 deep and see what they can do. And see if it is the car that NASCAR projected it to be. Because if it is not, they are going to get a lot of backlash from Atlanta, man. Because these race cars that we have now, a 6-year model that we have worked to, we are finally getting it where this racing is good week in and week out, man. And we're getting ready to change it again. So I'm telling you, I really wish they'd keep a generation. We'll do the safety protocols. Let's keep a gen model of a car, man. Give these guys 5 years to work with it before we make some major changes, man. I just want to see it. The racing does nothing but get better. Engineers do nothing but make it better. Give them a little leeway, NASCAR. Let's do it, man. So that's going to wrap it up there on NASCAR news. Hey, like I say all the time, please go out, like, share, follow all our social media, man. You can catch us on Twitter, the Gram, Facebook. I don't even know what Lawrence got going on, man. He might even have our own social network type thing out there, man. But at the end of the day, make sure you go check us out on social media. Definitely check us out on YouTube. Like, share, follow our channel. Rubbing and grubbing, no G's, like I always say, keeping it country around here, man. Posting a new show every week, a lot different than this live cast that we do here at Coaches. Lawrence takes some time, throws some extras in there, a lot of pictures, a lot of info, man. Telling you right now, like, share, follow. It's all we ask of you, man. Greatly appreciated, y'all. So moving right into those point standings, I don't even have to give regular season point standings anymore because it honestly doesn't matter. It's going to be 17 through 40. Whoever finishes wherever they finish, the top 16 is all we're worried about right now, man. So this playoff picture right now, as we all knew coming into this, Kyle Larson, boom, regular season champ. Going to knock it off at number 1. Starting this playoff, coming into Darlington this weekend as the top dog. We'll see if anybody can knock him off of that. 2, Ryan Blaney, man, took it from Martin Truex. Hey, I tell you what, like I said, as of late, this guy's been coming on. Got to keep an eye out for him. Probably going to end up being a contender. Not in my Final Four, but definitely Final 8 for sure for me, Ryan Blaney. 19 of Martin Truex Jr. sitting 3rd there again. Kind of wishy-washy. Had got those wins. Actually won, here we are, won, Darlington last time we were there in the spring. So let's see if he can repeat and sweep it on the year. But a little bit longer race this time. We got to see if he can keep it together because late in that race, somebody was coming for that win and probably would have got it. So 4, Kyle Busch, the candy man himself, Sean Err's favorite driver, which hopefully he's watching tonight. I got something for you. You need to come up here and come get it for me, man. I done called you, text you, you didn't even call me back, man. Don't even come up here, man. Matter of fact, we're doing that just for you tonight, man. And, hey, 5 for me, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the first back-to-back champion since Jimmy Johnson retired. I'm calling it right now, Mr. Chase Elliott. You're going to see the 9 car back on the championship podium when we get there to Phoenix, man. I'm telling you, first back-to-back champion since Jimmy Johnson, right here, 2 in a row, man. Go and do it. Go get it done, Chase. That's what I'm talking about, boy. 6, 48 rounds it out right there, man. I'm telling you right now, I've said it, and the 24 ain't far behind. These Hendrick guys mean business, man. And unless somebody's willing to go and compete with these guys and catch on to what they had all year long, or somebody catches up real quick, it's going to be a runaway right here in these playoffs, man. No more bubble watch as the field of 16 got set last weekend at Daytona. Mr. Tyler Reddick snuck his way in there. Harvick locked it down the week before at Michigan, man. But I tell you what an intense battle it was between teammates, between that 3 and between that 8. Man, I tell you, we had all kinds of drama we're going to get into here in just a little bit on that recap of Daytona. But Mr. Tyler Reddick does get it done, does creep right on in over there to those playoffs, man. So at the end of the day, hey, man, you got to watch out for the 8. He might get a win, might surprise some people out here, man. So moving right into my favorite, absolute favorite part of the show, man. Checkered flag for charity. So, like I said, if you never watched the show before, you never tuned in, basically what we do is every week, whatever car number wins that race, we donate that into our swear bucket or our checkered flag for charity. As I stated earlier, it's for help save one of our own this year. So basically, if y'all been watching, y'all know Ryan Blaney won at Michigan. He turned right around again and won last weekend at Daytona. So usually when a car below 20 doesn't win or a number does win, we donate 20. We got $24 for that 12 going back to back to go into that bucket, man. And I tell you what, this show alone, not every show at Coaches or anything that we do, but just this show alone, Rubbin' and Grubbin' has raised, we are $24 away from raising $4,000 on the year, and we still got 10 races to go, so we're definitely going to get over that $4 grand mark. I would love for you guys out there, man, to come out. Let's hit this $5 grand mark. $5 grand would be an absolute great number, right? Nice round number. $5 grand sounds better than $4 grand. Only way we make that happen is by you guys out there, the patrons here at Coach's Corner, the locals in the community, man. I say it all the time, doesn't matter what you got, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever you got to donate, man, come out, let your waitress or waiter know, hey, I just want to round it up to the nearest amount, donate that to Checkered Flag for charity or help save one of our own. Leave a $5 tip, leave a $5 bill for them. Your waitress, your bartenders, the staff here at Coaches will definitely make sure it goes to the right place, right person, and gets into the right hands. You see John and Adele Henderson walking around, tell them you want to donate to one of them, man. If you come up on a Wednesday to Rubbin' and Grubbin', come put it in the bucket, man. You can come in here and pop in, give a little, 20-second shout out to your whoever, man. Come throw some money in, man. But like I say all the time, none of that is possible. Again, this all goes to help save one of our own, a local charity based right here out of Savannah. It all stays local. They help families in need. They have helped numerous times up here at Coaches. Becca Bash, Randy Palooza. So many things they have done for us up here at Coach's Corner. I tell you what, man, that's why this year we decided to help them, help somebody else. So it's just a big round ball of help, man. Come be a part of it. Throw a couple bucks in, man. Let's get it going, man. So before we get into my next part, we are going to pause for station identification right here on the Coaches Sports Network. I do got to finish this one and get a new one coming. All right. Thank you, LB. And I know you guys got to at least see one of these up here, man. John Henderson and partners, man, they done put new TVs up here in Coaches. I don't know if you can see the one right here in the middle, but this is a 55. So I'm guessing these on each side are at least 75 to 80, somewhere in there. Man, I tell you what, getting ready to kick off college football season coming up. We already did, actually, but big dogs, them dogs playing Saturday, we're going to get all up in Clemson's ass. Well, ain't even going to be no kind of fun right there. But like I say, best spot in town to come catch any kind of live sport right here at Coach's Corner. College football, we got NFL cranking up here soon too as well. Telling you, new TVs, we got projection screens, we got TVs everywhere, man. Come check it out. Bring your friends, bring everybody, bring your clan, man. Come on, come check Coaches out for game day on Saturday and Sunday this year, y'all. So moving right into the who's hot and who's not, my second favorite part of the show, man. So we're just going to go ahead and say it. Who's hot? Man, the Rocket Man, Ryan Blaney himself, man. Ryan the Rocket Blaney is on fire. Back-to-back wins, man. Having some pretty good runs. We're coming into places where hasn't got the wins necessarily at Darlington. Got a top 10 finish there in the spring when we were there. The guy is absolutely putting some good runs together. Got the momentum in his corner, man. And I say it all the time. This is a momentum sport. This is a streak sport. Talent will take you so far, but if your team is not hitting on all cylinders, you are going to fall, whether it's a pit crew, whether it's a pre-race inspection, or whether it's a driver error. These things will happen. So it is very important to get your guys all boxes checked, all T's crossed, all I's dotted before we start doing these playoffs, because one bad show during these playoffs could cost you your whole playoff run, man. So like I said, guys got to keep it together, but I tell you right now, Ryan Blaney is absolutely on fire. As if it's any surprise, we all know who's going to be number 2 because he ain't number 1. Kyle Larson, man. Like I said earlier, Kyle the Martian Larson, a.k.a. Young Money, a.k.a. 2 Mile Kyle. The guy's winning on everything, man. It doesn't matter if it's a road course, a short track. Doesn't matter if it's dirt. Doesn't matter if it's asphalt. I mean, got to get a super speedway win. He hadn't won Daytona or Talladega yet this year, but other than that, he's won pretty much anything and everything that we go on. So there again, always going to stay on that who's hot list until he just absolutely falls apart, which with the talent he has and the organization he's with, that ain't going to happen, man. That ain't going to happen no time soon, I promise you that. So that's it. Right now, that's it on the who's hot, man. I got those 2 guys. Everybody else is kind of just mediocre. We got to get some more folks having some good runs, some momentum build up, man, because it just ain't happening right now. Now, the who's not, I got a few more on there this week, man. Brad K, Mr. Bad Brad himself, is going to top that number 1 who's not. I have no idea what in the world is going on over there with him. I've been saying this for weeks now, but man, he's got to get some stuff together. You know, if you guys ever tune in on a Sunday morning's Green White Checkered, you also know PJ Zuko and myself do a show on it, ESPN 104.3. So PJ brought it up. We're going to pick 4 drivers to miss that first round of these playoffs out of the 16 down to 12. And after we got done, I really started thinking about it. And this guy probably should have been in the 4 that aren't going to make it. I mean, honestly, man, it just, I don't see the consistency. I don't see the hunger. I think that he's kind of already put it towards next season in a way, which I don't think anybody's going to be upset about that. Obviously, he's a race car driver. I know the man wants to go out and win and compete, wants to win another championship. I mean, what a better way to go out of Penske with, hey, I won another championship, and I'll see you later. But at the end of the day, he just doesn't have the consistency right now. The spotter just got swapped with Logano. I mean, all kinds of stuff's going on. They're taking everything from the man. So he better go out there and get some respect because Miller Lite.
He lost his mojo.
Yeah, there it is. Miller Lite. I mean, come on, man. I think Brad K needs to come hang out up here and drink about 30 Miller Lights with Lawrence and get that mojo back, man. That's what you need, brother. But right now, ain't got it going on. Kevin Harvick made the playoffs, which I didn't think he was going to do, but he did make the playoffs. But man, he is light years away from that field, man. It is bad when I start comparing him. That is somebody I really don't know if they're going to make the 12, man. They might get cut out in this first 4. But, you know, it's bad when the owner himself, Smoke, Tony Stewart, says, we are just off. We have been chasing after this all year long. We can't get it figured out. We can't find out why we are the way we are right now. Coming from an owner and a former race car driver, that is something pretty big to be said, man. They are pretty far behind. So we'll see. I mean, he's got a claw and fight, which we know the man can go and win. He's done it. So, I mean, we'll see what kind of stuff they bring into these playoffs. I mean, it kind of brings back the feel of something that the owner did. Tony Stewart snuck himself in there in those playoffs that one year that he ended up tying Carl Edwards and won the championship based on wins. But in the last 10 races, he won 5 of them. So you can get hot. And once you're hot, man, it's hard to stop. So we'll have to see if Harvick can make it. But right now, he's staying on the cold list. And another guy on the cold list, and it's not for the finishes, and it's not for him not making the playoffs, and it's not for him not having really good races as of late because he's been really consistent from February Daytona to August Daytona. But it's going to be the 11 of Denny Hamlin because he's got some issues out there with a couple of guys, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit, but that could come back and cost him here as we get into these playoffs, man. Whether it's, you know, somebody cutting you a little slack, a little break on the track, whether it's somebody not racing you hard when they're trying to put you a lap down, whatever it may be. I'm just telling you, stuff's coming back to the 11. So now it's time to give a big shout out to my main man, Mr. Parker Eccles, man. Main sponsor right here at Rubbin' and Grubbin', outside of Coach's Corner itself, man. I tell you, this guy does absolutely everything for me, man. Anything I ask, absolutely amazing human being. Arbor Man Tree Service, under tree service here in town. Anything that you guys need done. Like I say all the time, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Give Parker a call. That's it, man. I'm telling you, give him a call. Locally owned, locally operated, native right here to Savannah, man. He'll come out, take a look, whether it's just needing some branches trimmed back for the remainder of hurricane season, whether you got a tree dying, need it removed, stump grinding, whatever it may be, man. Give him a call. He'll come out, take a look, or even if you're unsure, he'll give you an estimate and just say, hey, man, this needs to be trimmed up. This needs to be removed. You got this is fine, that's fine. Give him a call, man. There again, Parker Eccles, Arbor Man Tree Service. I know that number's scrolling on the bottom of the screen right now. Parker, I love you, brother. Got to wait till September 15th, man, and we're going to find out who renewed and who didn't, but we're going to get you as close to us as we can, brother, for that Atlanta race, man. I cannot wait till we get to hang on those old stomping grounds from back in middle school and teenage days there, man. That was a lot of fun, man. I love you, brother. But, hey, moving right on into that Daytona recap. Woo! Woo, man, what a race that was. We got a lot to recap too, man. I tell you what, that was probably hands down one of the best restrictor plate races I have seen in the last 10, 15 years, honestly, man. Like, it wasn't the tandem 2 cars, it wasn't single file, it wasn't 2 files riding side by side, and as soon as somebody drops out of line, they fall like a brick. We saw 2 and 3 wide racing for a majority of the time. We saw blocks, we saw lead changes, we saw everything and anything that we could possibly ask for at a restrictor plate there at Daytona, right? Reminded me of like the later 90s style racing where 2 cars were still able to push each other, not run away from the field, but get a good run. The runs weren't coming so fast that if you blocked, you got ran over. We saw a couple instances of that, but I think more or less that's just aggressiveness compared to how big the run and fast the run is. I hate we're getting rid of this car because I tell you what, I'm so looking forward to Talladega here coming up in October when we get this right here because I'm ready for this package again, man. That is going to be another amazing, amazing race right there, especially being in the playoffs. So big kudos to NASCAR and what they did in the research R&D department for them getting this car set up the way it's set up because it was awesome. No, we ain't pausing for station identification. We pausing for that Georgia table wine right now. Go Dogs. But hey, like I said, so much stuff to talk about, man. As we said earlier, Ryan Blaney comes in, locks it down, back-to-back, first time in the career, back-to-back wins, first time in the career, multi-wins on the season. Guy's on fire. He's got momentum, man. I tell you, he finished inside the top 10 at Darlington in the spring. He could go out and win it. He said that they kind of been working on things. He's trying to get better at racetracks he's not good at. Could be a contender, man. I don't think he'll make that 4, but we'll just have to wait and see, man. Wild, crazy Saturday night. Had absolutely, like I said, everything you can ask for as a NASCAR fan, man, from the wrecks to the drama. I mean, we had all kinds of stuff from Tyler Reddick to Austin Dillon racing on that bubble, teammates. Both of them having issues. Both of them not knowing if they're going to be able to complete the race, who's going to win it, who's going to make the bubble, who's going to be 17th. All kinds of drama, man. Absolutely loved it. And like I said, man, we had all kinds of drama for your mama. It didn't matter if it was from the bubble race to the pits to the manufacturers finally leaking up to hit pit road together to all kinds of crazy stuff that ended up playing part in that race, man. Absolutely loved it. Hey, late wrecks lead to big checks for a lot of underfunded teams, man. I mean, I tell you what, this is something I say all the time. I love super speedways and I love road courses because there are a lot of small underfunded teams where it becomes more of an equality, everybody is equal, driver talent on the road courses, survival on the super speedways, but those guys always seem to find a way to do that, riding in the back or riding up front, whatever it may be. Just a list of the guys that finished inside the top 10. Now, I'm going to break this down. Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher, Ryan Newman, Ryan Preece, Josh Bilicki, Justin Haley, BJ McLeod all finished inside the top 10. You had 3 guys or 2 guys outside of these names right here. Big names. Ryan Blaney. Chris Buescher had his taken away. We all know he finished second. But like I said, you only got 3 big name guys or bigger name guys that actually finished the race inside the top 10. And Tyler Reddick, if you want to say that's a big name. Blaney and Reddick. Now the rest were, like I said, Josh Bilicki and BJ McLeod, man. BJ McLeod got a top 10. Big payday for that team, man. Round of applause. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I love it, man. But, hey, like I say, we got all kinds of stuff going on, man. Drama with the 11 and 22. Don't know if anybody else has heard of this. Caught wind of it right after the race, doing my little thing. Joey Logano is not happy with Denny Hamlin, not one bit, about the way the end of that race ended up happening. 22's having a pretty good day. Kind of got taken out right there late. That's the way super speedway is. You know, I had a conversation with my father. I don't think it matters if you take them from 195 to 95. At the end of the day, I think at 95 miles an hour, they still going to wreck. 20 of them still going to wreck, man. Somebody's going to make a mistake, right? But anyways, Logano was not happy at all with the way Hamlin was pushing behind him. You know, basically what he's saying is I had nowhere to go in the front. We're locked up, and he's constantly on my bumper, push and push and push and push. And this wasn't the only guy that said that about the 11. And I'm just going to say it, if you go back and look at the replay of the 9, the 21, and the 11, all right there on the high side, Elliott did throw the block. The run was coming. That was fine. We saw it all race. What wasn't fine is Hamlin pushing the 21 constantly after it was already blocked. We're not going anywhere. And I understand Hamlin doesn't care about anybody else out there other than himself and his own agenda to win that regular season. Didn't happen, but you made an enemy. Now, the week before or 2 weeks before that, you got Chase Briscoe, enemy. Man, I'm telling you, I don't think Briscoe will do anything to him, but Logano doesn't play. At the end of the day, them two are going to get into it at some point in time in this playoffs, whether it's when one's out and one's in, or whether it's when they're side by side. I don't know when. They already got history. They had all kinds of drama for years. Xfinity, now, Cup Series, all kinds. Now we're getting it cranked back up. But I love it, man. As long as it ain't my boy Chase Elliott, I love it. Y'all just wreck everybody, man. Wreck each other. That's all I'm talking about. But, hey, Logano made the promise that this is going to carry over into the playoffs as well. Now, whether that's just hot heads talking after a hot Saturday night at Daytona and not quite getting the finish you wanted and felt like you deserved, or whether that is actually going to happen. I will say the last time Logano did something like this to Matt Kenseth at Kansas, we saw Matt Kenseth pretty much come out in Martinsville and just wipe him out. So we'll see if Logano has a strategy in play, when, where, and how, or if it's just going to be one of those deals that maybe kind of gets swept under the rug, and adds to the history of those two. But we'll have to see, man. Oh, whoo, man! Getting in these playoffs, I tell you what is going to be an absolutely insane thing is, like I said, who's in and who's out. Love for you guys, if you're watching right now, drop a little comment. First four out. A couple of them I feel like are going to be kind of self-explanatory. But there is that one. That fourth one is going to be really difficult to pick. There are three guys that are out there that you could all throw in there that we don't know if they're going to make it. I'll say it right here on the show today. The four that are out of the first round for me, 34, got to be. 34, got to be probably the 8 of Tyler Reddick. I hate to say that because I think the guy is amazing. The 10 of Eric Almirola. Those are the 3. Now, when it comes down to the 4, we got the 1, the 2, and the 4. Man, I tell you, it's so hard to pick. And I was telling Lawrence earlier, and the 20. We got Christopher Bell. There's 4 guys you could put on this bubble. But I got to go with Bell. And the reason I'm going with Bell is I just think it's lack of experience. I think it's lack of being in the playoff situation. Bound to make one mistake somewhere. Going to hurt him. So those are my 4. Almirola, McDowell, Reddick, and Bell all out after the first round of 16, man. Get back into this table wine one more time. Pause for station identification, this time right here live on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Excuse me, y'all. All right. Moving right along, coming into Darlington, the Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame. Gonna be live action, man. Love this racetrack. Very hard to pass here. Track position is absolutely king. Starting positions and where you come out. No penalties. No deep field strategies late after, I would say, after the first stage. If you get caught late deep in that field, it's going to be very hard to come back. It is a very long race, 500 miles, Sunday night. Stage 1 in 115 laps. Stage 2 ends at 115 laps, which will be lap 230. And the final stage into the race is 367. So it's 115, and 137 laps to the finish. Going to be wild, man. It's going to be a good one. I think it's going to pick up speed, obviously, as we get into the night. Track cools off, picks up a little grip. You're going to be looking for those guys that run that high line, man, because they are going to string it wide out there, man. Like I said, one of NASCAR's most prestigious and historic racetracks, man. This thing has been around forever. This race coming up, this 500-mile race at Darlington, is something that every single driver wants to check off of their bucket list when it comes to a career, man. So prestigious. Between this and the 600, this track is so hard to drive, so hard to pass there. So many things come into play. So it is just one of those that every driver, once this checked off, is a Southern 500 or a 500-miler at Darlington. They want to check that off, man. So moving right in, like I said, Ryan Blaney won 2 weeks in a row. Getting to start from the Busch Polo Award, man, starts in first place. So I tell you what, when this guy launches this thing out there, man, he's going to have the clean air probably to start. He's going to come back. We'll see if he can hold that track position, keep it together, and go out and get a win, man. But he starts from the pole, man. As I said earlier, Martin Truex Jr. brought the win home earlier in the year. But if you watch that race, Kyle Larson was coming. The 5 was coming, man. And now we got another 100-plus laps to bring it down. Man, I tell you what, if I am a betting man, Kyle Larson's probably going to go out and get this done. We'll have to see how it all plays out. A little bit of a different race, not during the day. Not going to be so slick, not going to be so much in there. I think a lot of guys learned a little bit. A lot of guys are going to set cars different. But I tell you what, right now, be on the lookout for that 5. You'll see he did make that top 5 list for this week's picks. But, yeah, man, you got like I said, passing very tough. Track position is king. Do not lose that track position. It can cost you dearly, man. Breaking this down into the top 5 as if it's any surprise, man. 1, Kyle Larson. I mean, like I said, runner-up finished there in the spring. Probably was going to get that win, a few more laps. We'll see if he can go out and seal the deal. 2 for me, my main man, Chase Elliott, going to get the job done at Darlington, man. You're going to get this. You know, a lot of people probably going, why not the 19? I ain't worried about the 19, man. The 9, I need to go out and get a win in one of these 3 races. Set the tone, man. You're a champion. You're last year's champion. You're defending champion, man. You can go out here and show these boys who the champ is, brother. Put it down, man. 3, Candyman Kyle Busch himself. I'll flip him back over. I'm tired of being mad at him. Ain't no big deal. Whatever, man. Hey, like I said, this guy you can never count out. You done let him into the playoffs. Got a couple wins on the season. Been amazingly consistent throughout the middle of the year and the summer to where we are now, which is absolutely unheard of for him. Usually during the summer he slacks off a little bit. So anytime he's in it, you got to throw that Kyle Busch name in there, man. 4, now we get into Truex. You know he's got to be in there. I throw him in there. Whatever, man. Go ahead. 5 for me, got to be Ryan Blaney. Back-to-back wins. I don't think he'll go back-to-back-to-back, but he might. And, hey, that's why he's 5th. I think he's got good momentum. Got a top 10 there in the spring. Can easily go get another top 10, top 5, man. Who? Oh, you know I won money. He won me money this past week, man. I don't know how. Everybody, I mean, he won like 2 out of the last 3 restrictor plates or something like that, and everybody just lets him fall back a little bit. I'll take him. You know, no problem, man. So, big shout out Ryan Blaney. Probably next week you'll see my wife up here with a Ryan Blaney shirt on. She tends to do that. Everybody that wins. Well, she even bought one of these, but it's got to stay in a drawer, her bottom drawer, because it won't go in the closet with my clothes. But, anyways, man, dark horse picks for the week. They're not really that dark, to be honest with you, man. It's going to be really hard to pick somebody outside of these playoffs, to be honest, that's going to have a really good run. I mean, we could probably go to 3 Austin Dillon. You could probably talk some other names in there. But at the end of the day, it's just that bottom part of the playoffs, the darker horses. I think you really got to look out for Christopher Bell in the 20, and I really think you got to look out for Kurt Busch. Now, if there is a guy out there that is going to be a dark horse, it's going to be the 43 of Eric Jones. Had a lot of success through his career there at Darlington. Actually had a couple really good, pretty decent runs here in the past few weeks. So returning to Petty Motorsports, kind of got that done. Really think they need to go out and have a really good run there at Darlington. Seal the deal, show everybody what it is, man. So that's going to wrap it up there on that NASCAR. Now we get into the second part of the show, which is the grubbing, man. We got one of my favorite things right here at Coach's Corner, man. This is a staple of mine. I usually get an 8-pack of these. I kind of mix them up. But we got little chicken sliders, man. So it's a tender, buns, lettuce. You can get tomatoes, onions, cheese. Man, we got ketchup, fries. I'm telling you, these are amazing. I pack them up. I take them home. I usually do 4 of these and then 4 burger sliders. As equally as amazing, which pretty much everything that comes out of here is awesome, man. But like I said, check those out. Always a great place. Stop by with the fam. Good food, good times, great drinks, great people, man. Come out to Coach's right here at Thunderbolt, Georgia. Have an absolute blast, man, if you've never been here. Got to check it out. If you're coming through out of town, stopping by, you know, whether it's now winding in before your kids go back to school or whether it's be, you know, kind of get away for a little winter vacation home, come check Coach's out, man. This is one of the best places in Savannah, not only for food, for sports, for fun, for entertainment. Live music venue is absolutely awesome. We're going to get to that here in just a few minutes. So like I say, definitely come out and support this great local restaurant here at Coach's Corner, man. So moving right along, like I say, green, white, checkered every Sunday morning. PJ Zuku and myself, Brandon Bang, coming to you live, ESPN 104.3 Coastal. You can check us out on ESPN's Facebook page as well. I tell you, man, we're getting you everything caught up from where rubbing and grubbing on Wednesday and what's happened all the way up to Sunday, getting you hyped up for that Sunday race, man. Talking about everything NASCAR, who's going to run good, news in the sport, what drama we got, our opinions on feelings, man. It's an absolute great show. So there again, if you have not ever tuned into that, 104.3 ESPN Coastal right here, Savannah, Georgia. You can also go Google SoundCloud. If you Google SoundCloud, man, it'll pull up any episode PJ and myself has ever done. Quite good, man, quite good. And his birthday was last week, and I wish him a happy birthday, and I'm going to wish him a happy birthday on Rubbing and Grubbing because I didn't do this last week. So happy late birthday for the second time from Brandon Atlanta Man, Bane, PJ. We're going to get this, and we're going to get another great show going Sunday, man. A lot to talk about, brother. That's going to do it for Rubbing and Grubbing tonight, man. I want to tell you guys thank you so much for staying tuned, tuning in. Absolutely means the world to me. Man, we got all kinds of stuff. You got Coach Carl DeMasi coming up, hopefully tonight. Don't know if he is or not. Probably got some stuff with school, you know, in sports. But at the end of the day, great show. Make sure you tune in to Hot Grits Podcast. You can find that anywhere, Spotify, iTunes. Travis and Spencer bringing you all kinds of local updates on national and local sports, man. And them guys are a fool. They act up a little bit, talk about craziness they get into. Trying to get the Herb brothers to do a little golf thing here and there, man. I tell you what, I just think, I don't know, I might have to give up on it. I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I tell you what I'm going to do is when we get back to the Henderson cabin next year, I'm probably going to streak their show. It's probably what's going to end up happening. But I tell you what, man, thank you guys for all the support out there for every single coaches, man. As I always say, big shout out to John and Adele Henderson and everything that they do for everybody up here at Coaches, all of our shows, all the patrons, man. Absolutely love y'all. None of this is possible without them. Tell you guys all the time, make sure you enjoy. Tune in every Wednesday right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe for rubbing and grubbing. About 6 to 7, 6:45, just depends on how I'm feeling and what I got to talk about on the day. Every single Wednesday live right here, the center of the universe on the Coach's Corner Sports Network right here, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Hey, man, that's going to do it for me. Like I say all the time, man, make sure you tell everybody you love them, hug them, kiss them. We got a lot going on. Make sure you mask up down here, man. And I left the squirt bottle in the truck Lawrence gave to me for last week. But I tell you what, at the end of the day, we're just going to fake it. Wash your hands, y'all. Thanks for tuning in, man. Love y'all.